What is up, everybody? Today we got another live show for you. I hope everything's set up right. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Victor, I can see Matt, Mike B, Froggy. Yeah, always waiting on me. I had set it up incorrectly, but we got it sorted out, so we're good now. What is up, everybody? Now, while everybody comes in, I want to make sure that you guys are, if you're on YouTube, make sure obviously you subscribe to the channel. This is we got the Reliable Trades podcast back on the main channel. Just easier that way, right? But if you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of those other platforms, leave a review. It helps the podcast get out to more people. I really appreciate doing this for everybody that listens and you get something out of it, basically. So we are doing returning guests now where we can do these live and take questions from the chat. And we got a good one today. So before I get into who we have tonight, I'm gonna roll the ads real quick. Bear with me, guys. If I go, I think it's this one. I also want to thank our new sponsors, CallRail. So I've been more into marketing and just online presence with our business. Even though we only do commercial, word of mouth is really good for any business. But once you get to a place where you want to be, a big name online or just anywhere, be recognizable, like I said, online presence, have a nice website, be able to be searchable in Google and all these different search engines, and just have a big presence. You need to know where to spend your money, and all I'm going to say is that CallRail can help you track that if that's something that you're interested in. CallRail can tell you, hey, these are not working so much, these are working really good, stop spending your money here, put more money and effort into this, and just be smarter about what you spend. So make sure you go by callrail.com. They do have a no risk free trial and you can check it out for yourself. And when you're doing your day-to-day work, you got to make bids, you got to do those quotes. I think one of the things that we have to deal with now is finding and pricing out parts. And that's why I wanted to tell you guys about We Supply Trades. They are a family-owned online distributor with over 90 years of experience in HVAC, hydronics, and the plumbing world. And if you need parts quickly, they have a massive inventory, which I've been told they've been adding to weekly. You can order by 3:30 p.m. Eastern and get it shipped same day. They have their pro membership, which is not only free, but you also get the benefit of better pricing, free shipping over $99, free returns, and for my listeners, you get a bonus of 15% off your first order with code reliable15. And if you're looking for a supplier who truly understands your world, please go check out wesupplytrades.com. I'll leave my exclusive link down in the description, and these guys just get it. Local HQ is a marketing that is geared towards the trades, proven strategies that get your business more leads. They can help you rank higher on Google and all that you would need. So reach out to them at localhq.com/reliable and mention me or the Reliable Trades podcast and get 2 months of SEO for free. All right, and don't forget that we also love Jobber, VETO Pro Pack, and DIVERSITECH for all of our tool bag needs, business needs, and parts. So in today's podcast episode, we're bringing back HVAC.NATE. I feel like I owe him an episode because we had a mishap, and I actually just had another mishap today. We'll talk about it right now with my computers and stuff. So his video ended up just being an audio only version. Let me pull him up already. What is up, man?
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. And by the way, that I did have a mishap on my end when you tried to bring me back the second time. I remember I had to be out for on call, so it's even now, I guess. So
Yeah,
it's no sweat.
last time I had just bought this MacBook because I'm trying to like level up, how I edit and put all these things together. And then Well, fortunately, I have the video and audio like separate now to where like because I do the video version, and if I need to tweak the audio, I can do the audio separately, and that's how I fixed a lot of the audio when I have bad audio and stuff. And
Gotcha.
somehow that video got thrown into the trash bin, and I emptied the trash, and I was like, oh, still got the audio, but I lost the video. And then
Hey, whatever
today,
works, it worked out.
my main external hard drive just decided to stop working, but thankfully I still have most of my stuff. So
Wonderful.
yeah, technology, you know how it is.
Right. Yeah.
So how are you, man? You got a busy schedule. I appreciate you making the time because how many kids do you have? I didn't get into that last time.
I think last time we talked, we had 2 kids, but we've added a third to the bunch.
Really?
So, our third one, is now, 10 months old. So,
Okay.
yeah, I have 2 and a half, almost 3-year-old twins, and then, a
Yes.
11-month-old at this a 10-month-old at this point. So, yeah, it's a little busy, but, yeah, I love doing this type of stuff. I appreciate you having me on for sure. So,
It's no, I mean, I wanted to catch up with you. I know I didn't realize or I can't remember if we talked about this change. So last time I wanted to ask you like how it was with the twins, you said, right?
mhm.
And then now, I mean, you got a third one. How is it trying to balance family and work? And I know you have a bunch of changes at work that we're going to get into as well.
Right.
How's that balance there?
It's been interesting. Off right off the bat, it was pretty hard. Obviously, with a newborn in the mix of 2 toddlers, it's interesting. But honestly, we've been really blessed with the new baby because he's been very good. Like he sleeps really good. He's
Okay.
very, he's very good temperament, all that. So I really have no complaints about him. He's been great, and he's just the sweetest little guy. So that's also a
Is that
plus.
is that like a contrast with the others? Were the others more active or
Yeah,
what?
they're a lot more active. They're also autistic. We just found that
Okay.
out in the past 6 months. So that's been a journey as well, figuring that out. But yeah,
Are there
it's worlds different.
man,
So
are there any signs for that or what made you like you said you just found that out? What made you go that route?
Well, early on, we could kind of tell, like, just developmentally wise, they were kind of delayed. So,
Mm,
that kind of sprung the thinking early on. I think it was around 6 months when we started to notice something was off, and we asked the pediatrician about it. And obviously, they can't diagnose them with anything until they're 2 years old because that's kind of the
okay.
point where development um, comes about to where it's like, okay, they're way behind. We took him to a specialist in Indianapolis. I live near Notre Dame in the northern Indiana area. So we took him to a specialist in Indianapolis, and he said yes for sure, like that they both have them. So there's the process of getting them therapy for that has been pretty long, but they started about 6 months ago in their therapy school, and it's been worlds different. Like they've learned so
Okay.
much, and just their everyday life skills have improved a lot. So we've been really blessed with a good school to bring them to, and the ability to pay for that too, because we got denied Medicaid for it. So
Mm,
um, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it happens. And that's
right,
what sucks, but I'm glad that you guys, were able to work that out and get, get what you need for the kids. That just reminds me that I need to get back on my son's schedule of doctor visits and all that because I don't know if he's there. I feel like it's borderline with either that or ADD or something.
right,
And,
yeah,
the school wants him to get help. And, I was on that course. And then, how summer gets, it's just real hectic
right.
trying to
Just
make all these
yeah,
appointments. Yeah. So that reminds me, I need to get back to that because I do think, because at first, and I asked you because at first, everybody's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Like even the pediatrician and the places that we
hmm
go to, like, "Oh, he's just a kid. Oh, it's just this, it's just that."
right,
And even at the school, they were like kind of telling us a few things, like in his pre-K class and stuff, like, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're just kids and this and that." So I never knew. I mean, he's my first. I was like, I don't know who to base this on, right? Because like growing up,
Yeah, right.
I didn't have that, and my brothers, I don't think they were slow or anything. Like we didn't deal with it. So as my son now, I mean, I'm worried about him. I want to make sure he does well. I want to get him the
Yeah, for
help,
sure.
uh, just like you guys. Like I want to give him the help. So yeah, we've been
Mhm.
going down that rabbit hole of getting, seeing specialists, seeing this and that, and he also has other conditions. He's had seizures. We got that under control finally.
Mhm.
That was a nightmare when that happened to me. Like the first one he ever got was with me, because
Oh,
he
wow.
lives
That's
with his
scary.
mom. Yeah, he lives with his mom, and during that whole COVID thing, right, I had to be the one because I could stay at home, and which again, my whole point with trade awareness is you can be your own boss if you want to. And
Right.
me being my own boss kind of helped me with my kids staying home because there was no school and all that. So, I was with him that year that's when everything got shut down. And then like we woke up, we were used to sleeping in, we woke up and then he's there having a seizure. And I'm like, holy crap, what is going on? I had
Wow.
to call
That's so scary.
911. Yeah, and then I've never had anybody in my family that's had seizures, so I didn't even know how to respond, and it was a whole thing.
Right.
So trying to get through that, and now trying to get through, his schooling. He might be a little bit behind, and he might need help. It's another thing to get through.
Right, for sure. Just another thing to add to the list of everything to do.
Yeah, this is a part that you don't think about when you're, looking to start a family.
Mhm.
Just being an adult, like it sucks.
Right. And also you just think that everything's gonna be fine. Like, if especially if, like, nothing's really ever happened to you, it's like the thought's like, "Oh,
That's
it'll
the
all be
hard
fine,"
part.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the hard part. I grew up. Yeah, well, it's a totally different time and everything. Like, because I have other comparisons that I've talked to people with. Like, I used to walk blocks to go to my friend's house. I used to walk to the convenience store. I used to walk
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
school, and I used to be in charge of my brothers. And then I would walk them home, and then walk back to school to go to basketball practice, and then walk home
Right.
again, right? And then there's always because we just had a family get together recently. And I'm like, I had to walk. My middle brother got the school bus treatment, right? And then the third one,
Mhm.
everybody chauffeured him around because he was the baby, right? So
Right.
it's a very different time now because I would not let my kid walk around, roam the streets.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Too many crazy people out there.
Way too many. So what other I don't like to get too detailed, but what other changes have you had? You said that you had a change in your role basically at work now.
Yeah, so, this will bring about a lot of controversy,
I
but
can't wait to get into
I
it.
am yeah. So, for the longest time, for however long I've been in HVAC, I've just been a regular service technician. I've changed roles now to where I'm a sales tech. So I have the ability to sell equipment, and that has changed a lot of things. First off, because of that, I'm one out of two people at the company I work for that is a sales tech. So they wanted the ability for us to sell equipment 7 days of the week, right? So they wanted a someone to work on the weekends, like all the time. So that, and I've mentioned this on socials before, that has changed kind of what they want for me as far as my work schedule goes. So at this point in time, I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'm off Tuesday,
Oh
Wednesday,
yeah.
Thursday. So my
How's
Tuesday,
that?
Wednesday, Thursday, is my weekend. Honestly, I love it. I
That's
think
kind of
it's really
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, me having 3 kids, it kind of frees my time up during the week to do stuff for them. So, like, taking them to doctor's appointments, we were mentioning doctors earlier, taking them to doctor's appointments. I mean, I actually just took my 11-month-old to a doctor's appointment today, and I was able to do that, because I was off today.
Yeah.
So that's been really great for me. Another thing that I really like with the schedule is that it came with Oh boy, he's a salesman now. Yep, I am a salesman now. But one of the things that came with was I'm not on call anymore. And
Oh
as we
yeah.
all know, on call is one of the most annoying things as a technician to have, because you get those calls at 2 o'clock in the morning and you got to
Yeah.
go to them. And then the next day you got to get up and go to work the same time every single
It's
day.
it's being
So
on call and then being a business owner because you are on call 24/7 as well.
yes, right. Yeah. So just for my family, the offset schedule has been amazing. It's been really good. I don't think I will want to do it forever. Just
Hmm.
because once my kids get older, obviously they'll have like sporting events on the weekends and other events that I want to be at, birthday parties, all that. But for right now, it's wonderful and I'm loving it. So yeah.
That's kind of cool because like me and my girlfriend had talked about that not too long ago. Like, whether it's doctor visits or just trying to get, things done with yourself or your family, like those are all business hours that you have to do these in, right? So what's the
Right.
alternative is like take a day off, right? So
Right.
and we can't really
Can't
because,
always do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
especially
that
working for a company, you get a certain amount of PTO in a
oh
year,
yeah,
and then after you use that, it's done,
it's
and
gone.
you're kind of out
Well,
of luck.
she's a teacher. She has the same thing. Like they're only allowed so many days, right? So yeah, we try to
Right.
save those for when we need them or when we want to take like little trips because she goes with me to AHR. I can't wait to do that again.
Oh,
Um,
that would be fun.
I wish sometimes I wish these were like not during the school year because she's a teacher, and then the kids I
Mm,
gotta we gotta get arrangements to for them to stay with their grandparents or get picked up and all that kind of stuff. So that's the only thing that sucks is like it's during the school year, right? Nothing is during the summer
right.
or tail end or whatever. So that's my only gripe there.
Right. Maybe you
But
won't want to answer this question because maybe it'll incriminate you. But I've heard of people, especially like yourself, like that obviously have a like social presence, and you obviously probably have like an LLC for what you do, right? Um, I've heard of people writing that off, like the AHR trip, writing it completely off in
yeah,
taxes.
I'm not that savvy yet. I am doing
Gotcha.
like the tax thing because I've had to recently, just in the past couple of years. It's grown so
Right.
much
Hmm.
to where I do have expenses like the MacBook. I never would have bought a MacBook if I didn't do this. I never would have gotten just bought
Right.
a $2,000 camera. Never would have bought that if I didn't do this, right? So
Right.
those are
Yeah.
the expenses that I can show for and I take to my tax person, but um, I'm still learning all that. I need to pick some brains of like, Gil and all these other guys because I know
Right.
they
I know
know.
Gil writes stuff.
Yeah, I was like,
I
they
know he
know
does.
everything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's just running a whole other business because even when I started content, which I highly encourage anybody, because
Oh yeah.
yourself, there's been a bunch of others that had that in mind and then like you finally go for it and it takes off. So like it's been cool to see,
Mhm.
not only yourself, but there's been a ton of others in the past year. And
Right.
I love seeing it. I'm everybody's like cheerleader. I love what you guys
Yeah.
do and the visionaries and all those people on social media. But it is like a business. So the way I've talked to people behind the scenes. It's like when I started back in 20, it was like 2020, 2021, really.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna set this up as a business. I mean, that was just my whole vision with
Right.
it, just so I didn't have to catch up later. Like, oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have that. Or I'm not gonna do it, uh, this way or that way. So, yeah, that's been a whole thing. It's been fun. I mean, I ended up doing way more than I thought I would. So it's been a wild ride, I can say.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean, like you said, it kind of just it was one of those things where it took off. And I like it's been really fun just interacting with the community, right? Like people like yourself, me reaching out to you and like conversating with you before, and then like collaborating with people too. Like recently, I'm sure you've seen the collaborations I've had with the visionaries and all that. That's been really fun too.
I get excited
So
to see that
it's
kind of
just cool
stuff.
that you gain friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's just cool that you like gain friends that you wouldn't normally have had before from that kind of stuff. So
Which is nuts. And I want to, like Jason was like, screw the hours that he values his off time more, which is the way I feel. Like I feel that
I
way
see that.
now when I'm much older and I'm already set as far as like, getting paid and all that. Like I'm pretty comfortable with my pay and all that. So I would much rather take the time off, which like you said earlier, like being on call sucks
Definitely.
because we try to make plans, right? The kids' birthday parties or like their friends, or we want to do something on the weekend with the kids, and that's always a struggle. So I never,
Yeah.
like, I'm in the field and I had to take a quick um or I had to look at my career and myself and be like, do I really want to be out in the field 24/7 for,
Yeah.
X amount of years? And honestly, my answer was always yes, like until recently, because now it's like,
Right.
okay, I need to be a boss. I need to be, honestly, my business can't run um, without me on that business side. It'll fall apart. So I need to take myself out of the field a little bit. So we've been hiring, doing all that kind of stuff to just kind of get that in motion. And but it's true for anybody. Just if you work for a company, right? Like you want that seniority or you want like to
Hmm.
move up. I never, because some people give sales techs crap, right? Or sometimes there's
Oh
guys
yeah,
that
I've
I know.
already heard it. Yeah.
I know there's guys that I know that go into I forgot what it's called, the engineering, right? Like the hospital work and all that. Like
Right.
they move up into that engineering role, and that's like a dream job to a lot of people, right? Because
Right.
it's not crazy hours, it's high, like super high pay. And sales techs, I mean, if you're a good sales tech, you can make a whole bunch of money without putting in those
Mhm.
crazy hours. So I never look down on it. It's just as long as you're an honest technician, like there's no way around it.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
you're doing good for you and your family
Right. And I mean, you're going to have dishonest people in any role, right? I mean, I'm sure there are
everywhere.
dishonest people in controls. I'm sure there's dishonest people in management. I mean, you'll have it everywhere. It's not just in the sales tech position. I just feel like it gets more of a rap um, being a sales tech because sales is in general a dirty word, right? People don't like to say that they're a salesman because
Yeah.
that's the dirty word to a lot of people. So
Yeah. Victor's like, screw that. Screw the money. I need my time off.
yeah,
I tell my guys, like we do have rotations and stuff like that, but if the guys want overtime pay, I'm like, you take it. Or if there's side work, because we don't do residential, I get asked about it all the time. I tell the guys, like, if you guys want it, go do it on your own time. Uh, take that money. I'm not, I don't, I have no need for this
right,
extra money that, will take away from my family time. That's just the way I've been.
yeah, for sure.
Do you have your, button up white shirt, or what do you guys wear?
No, it's just it's the same uniform. I like a gray mechanic
I'm gonna
looking
ask
uniform.
you,
So
because I know it's come up already in the chat. Do you take 4 quarters with you everywhere you go?
oh yeah, no, I don't.
And
Mostly 2 pennies because I try to give people my 2 cents.
there you go. That should be the new slogan, not the 4 quarters. It's the 2 pennies.
2 pennies,
But
yeah.
like, I mean, we've talked about it like on this show and the Nights one, especially about sales and those guys that we see on social media. I don't think everything that they say is like bad, right? Like you said, there's
No,
little
yeah,
there's some bad apples here and there, but it's not all bad. Like a lot of it, because
right.
I've talked with like Jake and others, when you want to improve your business or improve your sales, you do look to these kinds of people and maybe take away something, right? Like a tip here, or the lingo, or like your approach. I
Mhm.
mean, there's different ways to go about it. Have you had to kind of switch your mindset a little bit? from going from service to sales, or was it easy for you? I
Definitely.
mean, I don't know what that
Yeah.
process is.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been decent at like sales in general, just because I've always been a good communicator, and I think that's the biggest factor when it comes to quote unquote sales, and like that you really have to be a good communicator and talk to people well, and if you're not good at that, you're not going to be good at sales.
Let
So
me
I
let
think,
me just interject a little bit. You're not going to be good at all as a technician, because that was my number one
yeah,
complaint is, and I've talked about it plenty of times. I was always a tech that went in and out because I could get my work order or a request, right? It's through email or online. And I was like, okay, I know
hmm
which one it is. I go in there, fix it, and leave. And their number one complaint was like, hey, Adrian didn't even talk to us. He didn't say hi. He didn't conversate. Like that
were you
was
even
always,
here?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That happened too. And that was always a complaint. I'm like, oh crap, I need to be a people person. So like,
Right.
first half of my career was very to myself. And then second half, I was like, okay, I gotta like be personable and like you said, communication or just talking to these people. And then honestly, that's the key, like you said. Once you get that, you get their trust. You can tell them or
hmm
recommend something, and they'll trust you with it. As long as,
Right.
again, it's what they need, right? If it's what they need and they trust you, and it's a sale, like in that process, I have no issue with that. And
For
thank you
sure.
for the super chat on behalf the largest refrigeration app in Latin America. I'll have to go check that out. Great live stream. Appreciate
Mm,
it.
cool. Yeah, so I think another thing too, when it comes down to it, is just like um, being able to serve the customer by not only communicating but education too, right? Because the biggest part of sales in general is just educating the customer, being able to communicate how something works, and how something will work if they decide to go with you, right? So that's another thing too, is just being have even as a sales tech, I still need to keep up on the latest technology, the latest advancements in the industry, because I have to be knowledgeable enough to educate the customer about that, right? So I'm still very knowledgeable about stuff that's going on in the industry because of that.
Yeah, like Devil says, a few bad apples spoil the whole harvest in any industry, right? So I
hmm
think we've dealt with that recently, with the just the way the internet's been, right? You got TikTok, you got all these different platforms where people are
For sure.
consuming so much content, and there's like we talked about the four quarters person, right? Like I, I don't want to give
Mhm.
anybody any screen time. We know who that is. And then there's been
Yeah.
TikToks of like those home inspectors, right, that are calling out HVAC techs. And I was like, hey, 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 we're not all like that, right? Um,
Yeah,
so
obviously, yeah.
unfortunately, that does happen. It's the way of the internet, and like you gotta have you gotta have communication, because even when it's like your customer's like, hey, I found a capacitor on Amazon, like why are you charging me what you're charging me? Okay, let me tell you why, right? Like have
Right.
a response and educate your customers. That's been a big thing a lot in our business with me and with
Mhm.
my guys. Like I will talk a customer's ear off if they really want me to, because I will explain what I did, what I found, how we can address it, options, repair, replace, get you by whatever you need. Like I'll break it down wholeheartedly. Just what do you want to do with this, right? I'm giving you information. It's your choice.
Right. Yeah. Choice is the biggest thing, like giving them a choice. I remember last summer I actually posted a video about a 1989 air conditioner that I fixed. I fixed it that day. And I think the biggest thing about that was I gave them a choice rather or not to replace that unit because I got it up and running. I took away the urgency at that point. I still recommended, hey, this thing is old. It's probably not very efficient for you. And I gave them the choice to replace it at that time. They didn't have to make a rash decision right off the bat because it was 100 degrees and their house was really hot, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most powerful thing for us as technicians, even as a sales tech, is remove that feeling of that they have to do something now, and give them the choice to do it at that time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or that the time that they want, you know?
And that's just how it is because I yeah, I I love giving them the choice, right? And I would repair everything if I could. If I had all them, if my
Right.
customers had all the money in the world and all the time in the world, yeah, let's fix everything, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes it's better to tell them to get a new unit. I have one right now that I'm a little bit annoyed that one of our guys offered or didn't offer, not that he offered a repair, but that we didn't tell the customer like the whole story. It was like, "Oh yeah, bad compressor,
Right.
we'll change it out." I was like I was like looking at my notes, I was like, "You know it had multiple leaks." So now we're fixing
Yeah.
leaks. And I'm like, I think there's
Right.
one that I can't get to because it's a sealed system. It's a refrigeration rack. And I'm like, I don't think I can get to that last one. So they're gonna have issues, here and there. So
Mm.
that there's one where I wish we would have gone through everything and we didn't, and it happened. So that's always my thing is always like, tell them everything, let them know that if you do a repair, something else could happen. Like I've done some patchwork recently on quite a bit of units, and I always tell them, I'm like, hey, this is your only leak right now. We found it, we checked everything else, but who's to say if I fix this leak, another one won't pop out? It's very common and on the stuff that I work on for another one to pop out. So
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. So we did the patches. They've been working for a couple months now, and they have they're happy, right? I mean, that's the most important part.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's just give them the choice and let them make that decision. That's the best thing you can do for them. And I had something else. I just can't remember it right now. I do want to bring up a comment here, Brandy. Let's see if I can make that bigger.
That's my wife.
Oh, okay. Well, she brings up a point because I was going to ask you how you guys approach this because she says as a customer, I'd rather the tech know all the numbers, repair or replacement. It should be a standard. Sending out someone else to give a replacement number seems like a waste of time. How do you guys approach that part of sales? Like when a technician goes out to service it and then they need a quote or numbers, what's your guys' approach?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the age-old question is, do we have a second person out there, or do we have the tech be able to give them numbers? And I think it just boils down to, because obviously the next question is, it depends on the person and how honest they are, or how dishonest they are, right? Because I mean, we do have techs that are dishonest, like we were talking about before. It just boils down to giving the right person the price book, right? And if you give a dishonest person that
Oh,
is
yeah.
dishonest a price book, they will dishonestly sell equipment, and that's just how things are, right? So I think a lot of companies are scared of that possibility of maybe not knowing that that person is acting dishonestly, and that's why they're hesitant on giving a technician a price book, if that
Mm.
makes sense. So yeah, it just boils down to how honest, or knowing your team and knowing who's honest and who's maybe willing to stretch the truth a little bit to try to get more money and stuff like that. So yeah, I
So
think it just boils down to knowing your team.
yeah, so right now you're the one that goes out when there needs to be like that um, sale or close or the numbers ran by the customer. You're the one that goes out there for that.
I can do that, but I'm also a technician too. So
Oh,
I
you
run
are.
maintenance and service calls like normal, and then I
Oh,
just
okay.
have a price book, and I'm able to give them the option to replace it at this point in time
Oh, okay.
now.
So you are the
So
one that
yeah,
kind of can do both, right? Okay.
I do both.
Um,
Yeah.
because I've been talking to some companies on the software side, and a lot of it is me trying to be more efficient with our company. So I'm the
Hmm.
one that introduced Jobber to my business because my dad loved paper invoices, and I was the one that did
Hmm.
all the back end stuff, and I hated it. Right, so I was like, "That's the first
Right.
change we have to do is I got to get us to go digital with everything." We've been trying to use. I'm not a big fan of AI in general, but like we do have an AI answering service, which I do think is great because we get a bunch of spam, and I just rather not.
Mhm.
be looking at my phone all day. So we're
Right.
trying to implement some things, and there was a couple of companies that are doing like this virtual thing. I don't know if you guys have
I've seen
looked
that.
into it. So like where a
Yeah.
service tech goes out, they can hand off the iPad, and like a sales tech can run the numbers, help them out, financing, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's kind of cool. I don't see it in my because I do commercial, but I thought that was a cool way because your sales guy can always be there no matter what.
Mhm.
I just hand off an iPad or a phone or whatever, and that's kind of I've had several software companies pitch that to me. I'm just like, oh, it's cool. It's not what I do, but it's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a company in our area, that does that. I've heard that they do that, and I'm sure that they save some money on,
Trip
sending
like
an extra
gas
person
and
out there.
yeah,
Yeah, all that. So I see the benefit of it too, but I think a big part of like the sales thing is experience, right? Like like going to the house, like presenting everything as a salesman, and going through everything with the customer in person, I think also has benefits too. So I see benefits of both of them, so
yeah. It's like the with the AI answering service because I've talked to the other guys that have used it, and it's like some customers are gonna hate it, right? And me myself, when I call, but like it's the way of the world right now because when I call any business, any store, it's not AI, but it's an automated service, right? And I get frustrated, but
right.
that's the norm. And I'm like, well, why can't we use that, right? We have an AI answering service. If it's a legit call, I will call you back or we can text, whatever. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a different approach to that. And I thought it was interesting,
Yeah,
everything's
for sure.
going AI or virtual.
Right. Yeah.
Um so yeah, the whole see, you mentioned earlier sales dirty word, right? Like that can stir up controversy all over social media. And like I said, there's like TikTok, Instagram. There you can just look at the comments of any of those kinds of forms of content. So many strong opinions on that kind of stuff.
For sure.
But we all do it. We all have to sell. Like that's part of business.
Yeah.
So even myself, like I said in the beginning, I try to help my customers as much as I can, but that's money out of your pocket that they're not paying for, that they're not, there's nothing coming in. And I had to realize myself that we are trying to sell something. Now, we might not be pushing anything, but you are trying to tell
Right.
them or make them aware of certain things, right? So I've been big on maintenance the past couple of years, right? And I've been telling customers, please do it. I'm not trying to get any it is guaranteed money, but I'm not trying to get that out of you. It's a nuisance for
Hmm.
me coming out to clean a coil or do this during summer.
Right.
I was like, if you guys get on a maintenance contract, you're taken care of. And
Hmm.
that's been one of the sales that I do now is like, let's get you on a maintenance contract, right? Let me give you the benefits, the pros and cons, what it costs you for me to come out during the middle of summer when I really don't want to and wash the coil or strip down a unit, versus you being on a plan and you got like, for me, it's commercial, right? So I got like 3, 4 units on a roof. We'll do that whole thing in one go and you'll be fine. Like we'll check
Hmm.
temps, clear out the drains because that's a big one is the ceiling damage, the water damage, right? I
Right.
get called for that all the time, and I'm like, look, we would
Hmm.
be out here every 6 months cleaning those so that this wouldn't happen, and you wouldn't have to redo your tiles or whatever it is. So that's been a big one for me, and that is a part of sales. Is like I'm trying to present something and have them sign up for it, and we didn't used to like to do that, and now we've been trying it, and everybody's been like okay with it. Like
Yeah.
they're taking it. It's guaranteed money for us. It's a guaranteed little fail safe for them. Like if anything goes wrong, we're there. We'll catch it. That's always the benefit for the
Right.
customer.
Yeah, and I'm sure it costs less for them to sign up on a maintenance membership than for them to have you come out during the heat of the summer and clean all their coils that are dirty and it's causing problems, right? I
Or
mean,
a
that's
weekend or
that's how it
something
goes.
stupid, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it usually benefits the customer, and why wouldn't you present something like that to help your customer out? I mean, sales, like I said, it's just a dirty word, and really, it's like it's more service than anything else. You're serving the customer. You're making their situation better in any way you can. I mean, if that means new equipment, if that means a UV light, better filtration, you name it. I mean, we're just serving the customer, being able to serve the customer better. And yeah, that's all sales is just giving service to the customer that they need. Yeah,
And you're not being a good technician if you're not giving the customer information and options. I mean, that it's as simple as that.
right. What it
Um,
boils down to.
yeah, so like maintenance is a big sale point for us, I would consider. And it's been great, like I said, we have new apprentices. They've been killing it, doing great. And we have enough work to keep them busy, and then, the maintenance. And the other thing
Right.
is what I'm trying to kind of teach them is to be aware as well. So like you do service, so you kind of get it, right? You're out there doing something, and we're out there doing maintenance or service, but more so on the maintenance, right? When you have time to slow down. Do they have any bad motors? Because like I said, we deal with commercial rooftops, right? There could be like 10 condenser fan motors up there, and they might not know that one's out. So hey, let
Hmm.
me bring it to their attention. That's an extra invoice, an extra ticket that we can generate, and it's extra
Right.
money for us, but it saves them. And what I usually tell them on maintenance, or replacing a motor or something like that, would you rather pay X amount of dollars for a motor, a capacitor, whatever it is, or would you rather pay thousands of dollars for a new compressor? Right. That's always what it boils down
Right.
to, is
Hmm.
dirty coils, bad fan motors, because usually they have two or three on each unit. Your compressor is going to take the brunt of that damage. So then it's like, I'm
Hmm.
not being dishonest. I'm just telling you, I mean, it's going to save you thousands of dollars if that happens. So again, it's
Right.
always being honest to your customer. And I've been trying to tell the guys, like, be aware. Just if you hear a bad belt, you see a motor giving out, you see this, you see overflowing. Like I said, water damage is a big thing, right? Like that happens everywhere. And I
Hmm.
can't tell you how many roofs. I have a video that I'll do like soon where I'm trying to fix a drain issue. And then I was like, because I mostly do strip malls, right? So on that one, I'm working on
Right.
my own customer, and I was like, let me take you around around the strip mall, and you tell me how many bad drains you see. And it's like every single one of them is
Yeah,
overfilling inside or rusted out now. And like that's a big thing. And obviously if you
for sure.
bring it up to your customer, that's a lot of extra money, extra tickets that you get, and that's a form of sales, but it's an honest way to make
Hmm.
sales.
Right. I mean, as well too, I've always said that, I mean, whether we're selling products or selling equipment or doing anything, we as technicians are vested in sales. What we could not make anything from selling any products and just make our hourly, and we'll still be trying to sell ourselves as a technician
Hmm.
to the customer. Because going back to what we've said before, like part of being a technician is communication, making the customer realize that you know what you're talking about and you're the professional and your recommendations to them are valid, right? So whether we make extra money or not, we're always selling something to the customer.
Hey man, my reputation is worth everything to me. So
Mhm.
as long as I feel way better at the end of the day, as long as I was honest and gave the customer all the information in the world. And if I lose a bid or whatever it is, I still feel good about it because I gave everything that
For sure.
that they needed. And that's another thing I wanted to tell um the guys out there, that if you're because I think I just saw Adam point out that he hasn't made a sale in a few days and he's getting a little scared. So,
I
uh,
actually saw that today too.
so I know that, I mean, different technicians have to do different things, right? Like like sales techs. I mean, that's kind of their focal point, but or one of their
Right.
focal points. But we all do it, like you said, upsell something or sell them a part or a new system or just sell yourself because well, my whole point was, be honest and give the customer everything. And I want to make sure everybody knows that, like, you're still not going to please everybody. That's the big
Mhm.
takeaway that I've tried to bring up recently is like I've lost so many bids recently and it's not my fault, right? I tell them your system has a bad this and this. I would recommend a new system, or I would recommend something before we um go a different route. Like I have like I usually give them all the information of everything I found wrong with it, and I give them
Mhm.
basically a list in like in like a priority order, right? Like you need to fix this first so that we can like go on to this one, or maybe that'll fix everything. Like it'll get you by. Like I have a priority that I go through with them. Like a walk-in box,
Right.
you got to fix that door before I can do anything else because it's just not going to cool properly.
Right.
Um, and when I do that, they understand. They tell me they understand, and sometimes they still call somebody else to do something, you know, a little shady or something I wouldn't do.
Right.
And then I have to go back and maybe work on it after. So at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, as long as I was honest, I gave them everything I needed to, and I made sure I went over everything. I feel great at the end of the day, and it's always customer's choice. They have a choice to
Mhm.
use somebody else. I always say that because I think when one of those instances happened where we lost like a job, it wasn't even like a install. It was just like a service call. I was like, you got to fix the
Mm.
door. They called someone else, and the guy like replaced the TXV or something. I was like, okay, cool. One of our senior techs was like
It's
pissed, and
always
I'm
the
like, what?
TXV.
Yeah, he changed it out like twice. Um, and my one of my senior techs was like pissed. He was like upset. Now, why are they doing this and this and that? Because it's a longtime customer of ours. And
Right.
I'm like, look, don't worry about it. We gave them all the information. We did what we could. We did our best. Like, just don't worry about it. And sure enough, they still use us. They still called us back afterward because it didn't work. So I think that's a good point. Like selling yourself and then just making sure that you are the honest technician that they trust. That's always the most important part.
Mhm. Yeah,
Don't lose
for
yourself
sure.
as a technician.
Yeah. I always call those kind of calls you were talking about "I told you so" calls.
I wish
Those are
I
always
could.
fun.
I wish because I play it in my head. I wish I could go up to the customer and tell them that. Like I told you. Why'd you call
Yeah.
them?
I told you so. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I have to bite my lip and okay, what do you need? I'm here now. What do
Yep.
you need?
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, documentation too is everything. Like you
What do you
mentioned,
guys
going through
use for
everything with the
documentation?
customer.
Because I just had a meeting with another company for that.
Well, we have Service Titan, so we
Everything in
can
there?
take
Yeah.
pictures. Yeah, everything's in Service Titan. So pictures, notes. You can add notes to the pictures too, which I kind of like because you can like label stuff and then point to what you're talking about in the picture too. Um, but yeah, that's been great for documentation for us for those type of situations. Like, look, here's what we were talking about before. There's a picture
Hey,
of it.
yeah, what's funny is like well, now it's a little more normal, but before when I started like my channel and stuff, people were like, why do you do that? Why, like, they just thought it was weird or whatever. And I was like, actually, after a while, I started realizing that it was actually good that I documented, my whole call or
Mhm.
whatever it was. And I could go back and look at like my video. I'm like, no, I did that, or no, I did this, because the customer would always say something, and I'm like, no,
Mhm.
it's right here. um,
Yep.
so now we've been trying to document more, and I'm telling my guys, I'm like, take a picture, whatever happened. If a customer tells you something when you get there, and it's something weird, I was like, take a picture. Something broke, take a picture, document it,
Mhm.
and that way, or because we did have an issue one time. Customer tried to tell us did something and was like, no, we have the photos, we have everything.
Right.
Um, just to save yourself, but also, I mean, that's good for everything. Like I had documentation for what I did or what I found, because a lot of times, I'm sure it happens in residential too, but in commercial, sometimes multiple companies go out to a job site and work on things, and we don't get to a
Hmm.
call on the weekend, or we don't answer right away. They call somebody else goes out. Then I got to go during the week and work on it again. And it's like, well, I didn't do that. That doesn't look like my work. So we document it.
Right. Yeah, also too, like not even talking about all those other things, but it shows value to the customer too. Like let's say you're doing a maintenance and you take a picture of before the
Oh
condenser
yeah.
coil and with it all taken apart, and then you take a picture of after before you put it back together and you send that to the customer. It's like, wow, they actually did what they agreed upon doing. I'm going to call them back for other stuff too. It just shows extra value to the customer. And it's like, yeah, they did a good job. They can see it right there, picture right there.
Yeah. Because I've I've talked to Matt and Megan, mechanical, and they
Hmm.
love, like, they use company cams, so they love that, and they said their customers love it when they get a video of like a walkthrough or like whatever work they did, right? So I mean,
Hmm.
it's always, I don't know, you never know. Some customers might not care, but most of them would probably appreciate that you showed them what they did, because again, I could talk off my customer's ear. I'm like, yeah, I can tell you exactly what we did, but photos and videos are much better. And it just reminds me, because I started almost 20 years ago. We didn't have all this technology. We didn't have any of
Hmm.
this. Camera phones were barely becoming a thing, right? So, or not, no, they
Right.
weren't. When I started, the very first iPhone came out. That's how long ago I
Wow.
got into the trade. So like there was no
Wow, so
e-
you're old.
there yeah. Thanks for reminding me. There was no picture messaging back in the day. I used to have to hack my phone to unlock that feature. I remember doing all that stuff. And so there was no way to document anything. And I remember, because I used to get upset if they would ask me a lot of questions. I'm like, "You don't believe me?" I was like, "Come to the roof. I'll show you." Like, I think only one of them actually took me up on it. I'm like, "Okay, cool." But most of them were like, "No, don't worry about it." Um, but being able to show them a picture is way better now. It's just like you document it,
Hmm.
like you said, because I have some that require, because they've been screwed over before, for me to log into like an app and actually do that, like a before and after photo. And I'm like, I have no issue with it because I do the work. I take apart the whole system, clean it out. I'll take pictures. I'll send them to you, whatever you want.
Hmm. Yeah.
There he
I've
is.
also like, oh, there it is. Photos and videos tell a story better every time. Yes, they do. And off of that, I'm glad you said that mechanical because I was about to say I've gone so far at this point to make it part of my presentation to show the customer pictures as well. Because, like we've said before, photos and videos do not lie. I mean, if I'm sitting right there in front of you saying, "Hey, your evaporator coil is leaking refrigerant," here's the picture of my leak detector saying that your evaporator coil is leaking refrigerant. You can't sit there and argue with me about it. It's like, okay, that picture's right there. It's a lot more powerful. I mean, pictures are worth 1,000 words, they say. So I've just made it part of my
Hmm.
presentation to go through all of those pictures with the customer.
Yep. Yeah, Mike is like our CRM does the pictures and videos, labels, and notes. And also, I think what he's talking about is like the internal notes, if you want to just share it with your
Right.
dispatcher or whoever. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
we have all these things at our fingertips now. Like we have Jobber at our business. I haven't like even touched all the extra features because we use it at a very basic level. But like I've been trying to implement more of it this year.
Mhm. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Jobber, honestly. Um, yeah. Yeah,
It,
Jobber's
it yeah,
they're out
it's
there a lot for sure.
what's the other one? You said Service Titan, right? There's like House Call Pro,
Mhm.
Field Pulse is one now.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, you have all these options now.
For sure. Yeah, there's so many CRMs out there.
Heading into winter, what is your opinion on pushing a little more for new equipment or risking your furnace going out during extreme cold, high volume time, winter and summer, or winter versus summer sales? So I would think your part of your presentation should be like, because I talked with Jake about this recently, especially with the A2L stuff going on, which I think somebody,
Hmm.
I think Mike mentioned it right now. Um, you know, not trying to be pushy, but like, giving them a heads up. It's better to do it now versus later, or for this other reason. I'm sure you kind of work that into your presentation, and again, it's the communication of telling them, just being honest with them,
Yeah.
she says here, winter versus summer, like, all the differences that you see, whether it's a price difference or a high volume, because there's times where my customers won't see me for a few days because I'm just like backed up.
Hmm. Well, yeah, it also comes down to like telling the customer, like, do you want to be proactive with this or reactive? Because
Yeah.
when is your furnace going to go out? It's going to go out on the coldest day of the year. It's not going to go out on during the summer when you're not using it, right? It's going to go out when you need it most. That's always how it happens.
Hmm.
And then you're going to be stuck in a situation where it's 0 degrees out and your furnace is not working, and not trying to scare them use scare tactics with that. Is just, it's reality, right? I mean, that's when it happens. And we can take care of this while I'm here instead of waiting till it does go out.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I had so many, and that's why I said we have new these calls come in during the summer, and it's just like a coil cleaning, and like I hate
Hmm.
that because then I gotta, you know spend half a day or a couple hours deep cleaning that thing when it could have been done on a schedule, right? But no, it's not cooling right now because it's a dirty coil or something like that.
Right.
So for sure, like there's been plenty of them, and then one of my customers finally gave in to a maintenance plan because they were just, every summer they would just have all their ACs go out, right? They give us
Right.
about 18 to 20 stores and like all their ACs, and I always gave them warnings. I'm like, hey, this one looks like it needs attention, or this one that, or
Hmm.
whatever. And I'm like, all right, when we when we get in the middle of summer, it's priority, right? I have
Hmm.
walk-in freezers are high priority, and then we go down the list. And I mean, there's a wait time because we had a customer at one point that needed approval for everything, or there's different reasons why stuff wasn't approved. And I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna leave. I'm here right now, but if I leave, you got to wait till we schedule you back, to come back and all that.
Right.
So just be just let them know that that's always the thing. There is
Yep.
there is a difference of, well, you're not trying to be pushy, but there is sometimes, uh, if you can translate it to your customer, like you might want to consider this sooner than later because it's gonna make it worse.
Right. It goes back to the education aspect of everything too, right? Because I mean, in education, communication. You have to communicate to the customer. This is what might happen. We can avoid this right now. This is what is happening currently, and this is why I'm recommending we do something about it. So just going back to that communication and education.
Yeah, Devil's like, educating the customer is my secret weapon. Oh, this was
Hmm.
another one. He's like, I use analogies so that they can comprehend the issue and what needs to be done to fix or resolve. So that was another one that I had in mind when I brought up the social media and what people say. Everybody's a critic. So myself and others, sometimes we use the word freon, right? Why do we
Hmm.
use that kind of word? Because that's what the customer understands, right? So a lot of the times I'll do the same exact thing because I've gone super technical and the customer is just like staring at me like they don't know what the hell's going on.
Deer in headlights. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let me explain that again, and then I'll go a different route with it. So, I mean, knowing your customer too, because some of them want to know everything, and I actually kind of like those because I had one recently. He's like, okay,
Right.
explain to me everything that how this cooler works and what you found, and he's like, just take me through it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I enjoyed that conversation with him, and I got to educate him on how a
Mhm.
small cooler works and what we were finding wrong with it. And sometimes the customer just doesn't understand, and you gotta use lingo that it doesn't have the freon that it needs, or we gotta do this or do that, fix a leak. You just
Mhm.
gotta you have to explain it to them how they would understand it.
Right. Yeah, I always like to, at the end of my explanation, be like, "Did that make sense? Do I need to run through it again for you?" And sometimes they'll be like, "Yeah, I think it makes sense," and that's when I go back and start talking about it again. Yeah.
So Silver and Cigars might have missed my rant earlier, but he says, so glad to be in commercial, no selling, no pictures, no talking to anyone. Go to go to the job, fix it, and go home. That's how I was my first few years, and we kind of plateaued. Like, and we actually didn't do well for a while. Um, I thought exactly like this, and I did mention it earlier in the episode. I thought exactly like this, and I had to rethink, what we were doing. So commercial, and sometimes people think that commercial they have all the money in the world and they approve everything. They do not.
Yeah.
And Devil
No.
says it here. Most commercial customers try to save money in the winter. So I already know, and we already know, heading into like December and then January for a little while, like money freezes up or slows down on the commercial side. It is what it is. And they have their deal where they get bonuses, and if they don't spend a certain amount, there's a whole other side of things on the commercial side. But there is selling. There is. I have customers that have two main customers because he says no pictures. One of them requires me to log into an app, and it only allows me to take a live photo. I can't like upload anything, right? They want to know that you were there doing it. So that
Right.
one requires me to do that. I have another customer. It used to be a phone in type of deal, which kind of sucked because you have to wait for the automation thing. But they switched from the phone in to a website, and I still have to clock in and out through their app or through their website.
Mhm.
So I still got
Interesting.
to do all that stuff, and I still got to document and submit it to them. I still got to send pictures to the area manager because sometimes he thinks we're bullshitting, and I'm like, no, we really did
Right.
find this problem.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
and not talking to anyone. I've had that complaint because they want you to talk to them, and
Mhm.
that's what I was saying right now. Like, there's some managers that want to know what they spent money on, right? So you got to tell them and talk to them. But yeah, I mean, and then selling, because like I mentioned earlier, if you don't sell anything, your business will go under. There's no way around it.
Mhm.
Because
For
we've
sure.
had, and like I mentioned, it slows down, or we didn't do well for a while. Those times suck, where I wish we would have had like a maintenance agreements in place, or we would have ventured out and sold more or did something, because we didn't have the money to keep our guys. That's what sucked, because as a business owner.
Right.
Now, I don't know if he's working somewhere, probably from the sounds of it, but you if your company is not making the money or not making extra tickets, unfortunately they can't pay their guys.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just gonna go through the comments real
Maintenance
quick.
maintenance is maintenance memberships are the bread and butter of the HVAC industry.
It's
I
just
just want
funny
to say
because
that once.
like today I had to go to Best Buy, and I've gone to other places, right? I've seen the joke too recently, like everybody tries to sell you like a membership to their store, right? Or I used to have a buddy that worked at
Right.
Game Crazy, right? And they had to sell so many memberships, whatever, like their quota and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's everybody. Everybody does it. We do it
Yeah.
too. It's just
Mhm.
on a different
Mhm.
level, right? So it's everywhere.
At least it's not a credit card. Because most of those stores will try to sell you their credit card, you know. At least it's not a credit
Yeah.
card that we're trying to sell to customers. Imagine that an HVAC credit card. It'd be interesting.
We can probably close on this one. I think we hit everything we needed to. Oh wait, let me go back to Mike's comment. I was gonna answer him real quick. Where is it, Mike? Oh yeah. Have I explained to my customers about the new walk-in changes coming in 26? How much the newer equipment is going to cost, and also new refrigerant availability? Not yet.
So there's a walking
Everybody's
change coming. Interesting.
just
I didn't know.
well, everything's gonna go to A2Ls. Everything has it's kind of
Gotcha.
like it trickles down into refrigeration like after the residential side.
Right.
And I've been putting it off, honestly. Like I've been trying to fix everything that we have
Hmm.
because we also deal with R290 on the smaller equipment. So
Right.
I feel like it's gonna be like a free for all next year. Just we'll see. We'll take it as it comes, and we'll see what happens. Because
Hmm.
um, I don't think any of my customers. Oh no, there is one place they need new equipment. Um, and I've been trying to give them options because have you guys had any issue or like right now any issues with R Jesus R54B?
Well, we sell Daikin, so no.
Oh, you're
But
good.
I
Okay.
have heard of the issues. Yeah. So yeah, but I another company I know of sells Bryant, and they have had a very hard time getting it.
It's gonna
So
hurt
yeah.
a lot of businesses,
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. Already has. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that man. Oh no, it was I think Zach, Quality HVAC. He
Yeah.
they had an issue where they had a bad board and it was a R410A mini split that they had just put in. And because of that bad board, they tried to claim it under warranty. That board wasn't going to be available for like 2 months or so. And he's
Oh
like, "You
my
know what?
gosh.
We'll just have to buy a new system and change it out." Cuz he's like they can't be without their air conditioning cuz it conditioned like an office or a work area that they use a lot.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Man, that sucks." Cuz like we've dealt with part issues, right? Getting parts even under warranty and stuff like that. I feel bad when I have to tell my customer, because they buy their own equipment, so they got to deal with it more than I do, but they still
Hmm.
have to wait for it. And I'm like, man, so like in that scenario, he just got a new unit because he could put it in that day versus waiting on a board. So I mean, you just have to get creative, I think, going forward, right? Whether it's doing what he did and offering a whole system, and then when that board comes in, he'll reuse that system or something because it was brand new. Um,
Hmm.
or what I've been doing is getting creative with repairs, trying to push off some of the sales in the meantime and telling them, giving them a heads
Right.
up about like, changes or, even internally we're trying to decide like what brands to stay with. I like Heatcraft for refrigeration, but you mentioned Daikin. I've been trying to give my customers that option because I do like the newer Daikin equipment. I've had good luck with it. But we
Yep.
lost
It's
a
pretty
bid
good.
recently, and it was a train system, and it's R54B. So I'm like, if you hopefully you
Well,
don't spring a
have fun with
leak.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
could be like a little Schrader or Cormax. I mean that those happen all the time.
Right.
It's like hopefully you don't have a leak because I won't be able to get that. And it's like
Yeah.
I think it's like 900 or 1,000 when I last checked, which I don't
That's
understand.
crazy.
I don't understand because my supply house shows that they have it in stock. Like it shows like 100 plus drums or whatever. And I'm like, you
Hmm.
can't bring the
They just can't
price
get it.
back. Can't bring the price back down. You got them now.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna come
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Stuff never gets cheaper. It just gets more
No,
expensive.
I've said it so many times. Remember when we used to have like $80, $85 R410A?
No. I don't remember
That
that.
was a good time, but
Mm,
those are gone.
yes, for sure.
So this is a comment that I was going to bring up. When it's all said and done, is a sales tech as bad as they make it out to be?
Think it depends on the person, you know, like we were
If
talking
you're a
about
four
before,
if you're a four quarters person, I can't vouch for you. But if you're an honest sales tech with all the information in the world, you're doing okay.
Hmm. Yep, for sure. I agree with that. Depends on the person.
Yeah. And again, like I mentioned earlier, right? Because people ask me about like getting into the field and then like the different opportunities out there, right? Sales tech or just being in sales because you still do service, obviously.
Hmm.
There's different routes. There's different
Hmm.
opportunities. I know guys that really like the engineering part of it, where they get
Right.
to oversee like a hospital or whatever it is, and they do a little bit of everything, and they mostly take care of like chillers and all that. Like those are a lot of these are jobs that people want, especially when you're older with the family, right? So
Hmm.
my advice is always do what's best for you and your family.
Yeah.
And I think Adam, I mean, I'm bring him up again. Adam had mentioned one time that he got a lot of crap for the amount of hours he worked. And he's like, why are you guys giving me crap? Because
I
I have
remember
no
that. Yeah.
kids, I'm single, and I'm making money, right? Like
Hmm.
everybody's different. And if you're younger,
He's
take
hustling.
advantage. And if you're older and you see a good opportunity, a good job, take it. It doesn't honestly, getting into sales doesn't make you like a bad person or a technician.
Mm-mm.
It's like you said, it depends on who you are and your values, your morals. And again, honest technician. Information to the
Sure.
customer, let them decide.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else you want to end on? I don't want to keep you too long.
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. So,
That was a great conversation. I appreciate
yeah.
you for coming on, and great catching up with you.
Yeah, you
Congrats
too, man.
on the family and everything that you got going on, man,
Appreciate it.
and the new position.
Thanks. Thanks. Appreciate
All
it.
right, man. I'm gonna close this out by myself. I appreciate you for coming on, and I'll see you, man.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Well, cut him off. Anyway, I appreciate you guys also for tuning in. I need to figure out how I have this set up. Appreciate you guys for coming in, and again, thanks again to Nate for coming on the show. I know I owed him another episode. I think this was a great conversation. Sales is a dirty word, but we all do it, and it helps you if you're honest, and it can help you in your job, your position, or it can help if you're a business owner. I mean, it makes a world of a difference to communicate and give your customer choices and options. That's always the most important part. But again, thanks again, everybody. And I'll see you guys. Let me see if I can find the outro.